What's going on, guys? Hope you're having an amazing day. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down our $100,000 a month agency sales process. So pretty much our lead channels, where we get our leads from, how we structure the outreach, pretty much everything that you need to know about how to get an agency to $100,000 a month. So I'm literally holding nothing back in this video. It literally shows everything that we do. So hope you can take it, make use of it, and enjoy. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's just dive straight into it. So what I'm breaking down here is our entire sales process, right? So from the message, from everything that we do. So we follow a two call close system. And so there's three main channels where we get the leads, which I'll get into, but we essentially start with a direct response slash conversational connection. So we actually test two different things at any given time. So we'll use on LinkedIn, for example, we'll use Sales Navigator to send a direct response pitch. And then we'll use Wallaxy, which combines with the normal messaging feature in LinkedIn to simply send a conversational message, start a conversation, and lead them down the line towards being interested in what we do, leveraging connection questions. So in between that, we send an intro call sequence, so 2 to 3 email nurture beforehand. But yeah, let's get into all of that in a bit. I don't want to go too high level at the start here, but just so you know, the proof. So yeah, obviously, I'm sure you understand, we take payments through bank and PayPal as well. So I think these months we do like 110K both months, close to 100 through Stripe. But anyway, let's start with the team structure, right? So you don't need a huge team to be able to get to 100K a month. You can simply have 4 people and have a 100K a month sales team, right? Which might cost you around $15,000 a month or less. So what that looks like is a lead gen VA. So you want one VA managing around 3 LinkedIn accounts, right? I've tried 3 different VAs having 1 LinkedIn account each, and I'm telling you, it is far more cost effective and just way more easier on the brain in terms of having to deal with people, having one really good person who can handle several things, right? So we do weekly trainings once a week on that. Then we have an email scraper who's a contractor. We pay around $50 to $100 per 1,000 leads that we get. Then we have a part-time inbox manager who does 2 to 3 hours a day managing our cold email inbox. And then we have a sales rep taking the intro calls and sales calls. Now, so let's break it down a little bit more. So I'm just going to move this on the screen here so you can see it better. Basically, let's start with LinkedIn outbound. So we have 250 minimum KPI per day of new outflow, right? And then cold email, we have 1,000 a day, right? So that's the one VA managing the 3 accounts, the lead scraper collecting leads daily, the inbox manager. Then all of this funnels into the sales call bookings, which then the sales rep will do that 2 call close system, right? So it's fairly straightforward. Now, let's go into LinkedIn outbound, why it's good. So the first thing about it, the pros is that everyone sucks, right? I could put 5 screenshots in here of messages I've got this week of 10 paragraph initial messages, right? So if you do it well, you're going to crush it, right? It also builds a better connection than a cold email because obviously the email, there's less personality to it. Someone can click on your profile direct on LinkedIn. Of course, they can still connect with you on LinkedIn if it's done via email. But anyway, it's beside the point. That's just one thing that we've observed. Now, in terms of the process, semi-automated through Wallaxy and then manual through the Sales Navigator. So if you haven't already checked out automation tools like Wallaxy, go and check them out. But basically what that does, you upload a list of 2,000 of your ideal client profile. You set an automated 3-step conversation flow, and then it will automatically connect with 50 of them a day. It will DM them, follow up with them, and then you have the VA manage the responses, right? Then on the Sales Navigator, this is where we do a more direct response framework. So we find the people from our ideal client profile and do a soft direct response pitch, right? And then from there, book the ones that are interested into the calendar. Now, yeah, obviously the volume, $250 a day. Just to get into some numbers here for you, just so you sort of know what you can expect. So we basically have around costs of $900 per month for running our LinkedIn. And so, yeah, if we book 20 calls, let's say, it's an average cost of $45 per book call. Then let's say from that around, we have a 75% book rate onto demo calls, and then a 25% close rate. That makes the cost per acquisition around $225. Now, I'll show you some of our actual numbers first here, just so you can kind of get an understanding. So this is from Jan to September 2023. So our total expense for the year for LinkedIn has been $8,350. We booked 275 calls, which is $41 cost per book call. And then we've had an ROI on the upfront cash collected of 429%, but then an ROI on the revenue of 1,112%. So basically, yeah, obviously if you're not sure, like an ROI is a return on investment. Return on investment cash is just basically the cash collected up front. If we have a 12-month contract with a client, there's still a lot of cash that's outstanding to collect. So that goes into the revenue category. So obviously the revenue is quite high. Now, Next, cold email. So we've spent around $9,000 this year so far, and we booked 283 calls. Cost per book call 37. Our average ROI cash is 323, so slightly lower, but the revenue ROI is very high at 878%. Which, let's look at Facebook ads now. So our ads expense for the year has been $35,000, right? So a lot more. We booked 137 calls from that. Our cost per book call is $510 from that. Now, obviously, this is one thing that we're still working on improving. So for anyone watching this who's, probably got a lot higher ROI than this, yes, I know that this ROI cash is not good, which is why we haven't fully scaled the ads yet. We're still working on that. We've done like a 3x ROAS on revenue. So anyway, I think if you're just starting out, you need LinkedIn and cold email. We didn't even start investing in paid ads until we we're doing at least $60K a month consistently, right? So anyway, point being, let's go back to cold email for a sec so you can understand. So the pros of cold email is that it's scalable. You can test very quickly. Cons is that there's a lot of competition. People have their guards up with a lot of spammers nowadays. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but once it's set up, it runs on autopilot. So you want to be testing or sending around 1,000 emails per day. Split testing around 2 to 3 strategies at a time. So you can do direct response variations, lead magnets. We're always testing different campaigns and copy to find the winners. Yeah, so these would be the rough cost for you of sending this amount of emails per day. And so if you can get your cost per acquisition under $200, you're absolutely killing it, right? Might be a little bit higher, but anyway. So that's the second channel that we use, right? Now, I want to run through some scripts because this is the stuff that's really, really important, right? So the best and most successful script I've used in cold email has been the compliment, case study, call to action, what we call the 3 C's. So essentially, I got this from one of my first ever mentors, Alex Bourbon. And so it is, honestly, it stood the test of time in terms of I've been using this for probably 18 months now. A lot of people have started copying and modeling different strategies, but this one still always works. So how it works: hi John, saw you were founder of XYZ company on LinkedIn. Impressive with what you've been able to build so fast. That's the compliment. Lewis here from Bruce Media Agency. We help founders get onto podcasts and get booked in the media. Recently, we helped our client, do XYZ result. Would you be open to discussing how we could do the same for you, right? So that follows the compliment, case study, call to action one. If you haven't tested this one, 100% get that in your arsenal. Now, I'm not going to do a whole video on scripts. This is just some high-level stuff so you could go and take it and implement it. But regardless, LinkedIn, this script works absolutely amazing for us. So this is what we use with Wallaxy. So, hey John, saw you on the XYZ hashtag. So it could be the consulting, it could be the business coaching, whatever industry they're in. Impressive what you've built with your company so far, and love the content you're putting out, right? So it's a very low intent based message. But what we then do is we do a gentle direct question next, right? So typically a lot of people won't respond to that one, right? So what we'll then follow up with is, hope you're having a great week, John. Are you currently using any softwares to schedule your social media content? Now, in this example, I'm essentially pitching them on a social media scheduling tool, right? If you had that, for example, as a SaaS. So you could be like, hey, John, would you be interested in having all of your social media content scheduled? We have a 14-day free trial on our social media software to save you time and never have to worry about missing a day of posting again. Mind if I send over more info? So basically what that does is it kind of pushes them towards what we're doing without being super direct. I'm sure you get the pictures every day of people saying hey, we can flood your calendar with appointments, blah, blah, blah. You want to sort of sequence the questions to get them closer and closer to where you want to take them, right? I'll make a whole other video on the scripts if you guys would like. Now, let's get into the pre-nurture email. So you essentially need to increase the show rate to your calls because these are to cold people, right? So you need to give them a reason to show up. This can be the value you're going to provide, the case studies to get them excited about working with you. But the goal here is not to overdo it, right? Some people go very hard with the automation and sending them a ton of emails and spamming them with stuff where it just feels inauthentic, right? So what we do is follow a really short, simple and personal framework that's not salesy at all, right? So essentially, if I was booking it through my profile and it was going to my sales rep, Sam, it would just be like, hey, John, Lewis here from Bruce Media. Saw you booked a call with Sam. Just wanted to connect and introduce myself and send this video about what we do, or send this guide about what we do, right? Then a day or so later, we want to send them a video walkthrough of what we do, what to expect, etc. And then just a little bit more information before the call. So an about us and some case studies. So essentially all this stuff will basically equip you with, the tools to get people to show up to the calls. Because one thing that you won't realize throughout a sales process is that if you book 100 calls and only 50 show up, you've missed out on a ton of potential deals there, right? So you have to maximize every area of the sales process. So that's essentially it, guys. Basically, just wanted to walk you through high level what $100,000 a month outbound. So I just wanted to walk you through what this process looks like, how you can implement it in your business. I hope this was useful. We'll see you in the next video.